But hi, everybody. Thank you for your patience while we were sorting out some technical issues, and it still didn't work. So you're getting me just like this. I had a whole PowerPoint and everything for you guys, but that obviously did not happen. So I'm just going to kind of walk through some things, and I'd love to have a little chat with whoever's here and kind of see where you are as far as what your expectations of the Psychology Club, why you joined, why you want to join, why you're here. I don't really care what you tell us, but I'd love to get some feedback from you all so that hopefully when we are setting our activities and our goals for this semester that we're meeting those goals, the goals that you guys have. So first of all, my name is Laura Hicks. I am the president currently of the Psychology Club. Max was our vice president last semester. He has graduated now. And then Goldie's is our treasurer. I don't know why I have problems with that. Goldie is our treasurer. Goldie, do you want to say something? You guys have to tell me if you can hear her. Okay, go ahead, Goldie.
Hi, I'm Goldie. Like Laura said, I'm your treasurer. I've been going to NSU for, this will be my third year, but this year I am in the grad program for clinical mental health counseling.
I guess I should have said that. I graduate in December, and I'm going on to my graduate studies. Hopefully, if I could raise the money, go to Harvard for my master's in psychology, and then I'll go on to my doctorate after that. Our other officer, our last officer that we had as a carryover from last semester is Kayla, and she is our secretary. So you've received some emails from her and from me, but you've at least seen her name. Kayla, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself? And I wish you could see her face or a picture, but you can't.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Kayla. I'm a senior. My major is psychology. I actually met Laura last year at Tulsa Food Bank. We were serving, and it was a lot of fun. And I was just a member, and I don't know. After that, I just took the plunge. I was like, yeah, I want to be an officer. I just want to get involved. So, yeah, I've been having fun. You guys should kind of look into the open positions.
Yes. We, if you have been receiving our emails, you know that we have several officer positions open. In fact, every fall we open the election to, like, every officer has to be reelected. So technically all the positions are open. And I will say that by the end of this meeting, we're going to close those applications. So I'm going to pop a link in to the chat. So if you're interested in holding an officer position, you need to click on this link and fill out the form during this meeting. Because we do have, we're basically going to send out the ballots after this meeting today, and they will be due 1 week from today, which I will reiterate later. Let me find this link real quick before I forget. Basically, we have several officer positions, which I'll start there, just since it kind of happened to flow that way. I think, yeah, I do believe I did get that. Yes. Thank you. Sorry, I can't do two things at once, so bear with me just a second while I find this form. Officer interest form. There it is. Okay, so we have a president, which is the position I've held previously, and I am rerunning for this semester. So if you're interested in the president position, we will hold a special election for this position. If I am reelected, we'll hold a special election basically at the end of this semester to fill that for the spring semester. Basically, kind of are just sort of the head, the point of contact for the club and people who are interested in the club. And okay, there we go. There's a link. I can stop focusing on that. And basically just making sure everything's getting done, pretty self-explanatory and all that. There is the vice president, which is kind of acts as a person who steps in if the president isn't able to be there. And then a lot of times they take on certain responsibilities to relieve the president of some of their duties, or if they fill in basically anywhere somebody wasn't able to handle something, like they weren't able to attend a meeting, so they need to take notes for the secretary, or, you know, those sorts of things. Our secretary takes notes, like I said, of all of our meetings, and sends out emails, email reminders with details and all that stuff for the meetings, as well as events and that sort of thing. It's pretty much like what you would expect from a secretary. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you turning yours in. Then we have our treasurer, and basically it's pretty self-explanatory on that too. They basically handle tracking all of our money. We do everything in just like a spreadsheet. So it's, as long as you like are detail oriented, that's a great position. Hi, Jake. Glad you're here. Sorry, I was like Sooner Jake. I don't know. I assume your name's Jake. Let me see. Goldie, do you think you could mute your mic? Just getting some feedback, and I just want to make sure that it's not overwriting.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No problem. Thank you. Wow, that got really quiet. I didn't realize how much. Ooh, now I feel like I'm literally talking to myself. That's not fun. We have another position called public relations, and that sounds very formal, but it's basically somebody who handles our social media, communicating with the campus as far as when our events are. So just making sure we're on calendars and things like that, putting up posters around campus. If you have the ability and the artistic ability to like design the posters and the graphics and stuff, that is like what, you know, that's the best suited person for that position. But if not, and there's somebody else in another position that can do those things, it would just basically be your responsibility to make sure that the word gets out with those graphics. So basically, if you like social media, it's a good fit usually. And then we have a new position that we are opening up called volunteer chair. And our volunteer chair is basically running and heading up all of the volunteer opportunities that we have for the club that we're presenting to members and making available and all of that. This is something like Kayla mentioned earlier that like we've gone to the food bank together and volunteered there. We volunteered through NSU at some of the events they have for the community. Basically, the volunteer chair is there to look for those opportunities, present them to the club, and be kind of a point of contact during those events for those who are participating. So all of this is broken down in that spreadsheet or in that form that I put that link in the description or the comments. So take a look at those. I will say, honestly, holding an officer position seems slightly intimidating, but it's really not. It should not take a ton of time. If it's taking a long time, I personally would want to know as president, so that we could help kind of relieve that from you. The only requirements really are that you are attending NSU as a graduate or undergraduate student at least half time. So you have to be taking 6 hours, and you have to attend, is it 75% of the meetings? Is that what it is? Yeah, at least 75% of the meetings. And the good thing about that is this semester, all of our meetings are online. They're going to be in this format. Hopefully I will have the technical issues sorted out by then, by our next meeting, and we won't, you'll see more than just my face. But you can watch it anywhere you can watch video. Essentially, all of these will be saved and a link will be emailed to all of the members after this meeting at some point in the next couple of days, so that if you aren't able to attend a meeting, you can at least go back and rewatch what happened, and that counts for attendance. So, and this goes for members as well as officers. We have some requirements for our members, which I'll go into next since that kind of led there. Our membership is basically, there's a form that needs to be filled out. Me and my forms, I love forms. It's basically an application. As long as you do everything you're supposed to, like pay your dues and stuff, you're a member. But you fill out the application. We have a membership fee of $10. And then you have a requirement of attending or viewing 50% of the meetings each semester. So if you weren't able to attend live, that's perfectly fine. But you can come back and watch those. And the one thing I will say is, if you attend a meeting, make sure you comment on the video so that we can go back and view who attended, because we don't get a list of who was, who logged in. So I just need to know your actual name that NSU has you listed as. And then there's that. Let me give you the link for the application. Our membership dues are due on the 10th of September. So it's our next meeting. And I will actually be sending out an email. Like I said, you're going to get a bunch of emails after this meeting, an email with a link, a PayPal link, so that we can take your payments digitally. So if one of us happens to be on campus, which I'm not 100% sure in the next week at least, or like until our new officers are in place, I'm not sure that any of us are on campus. Goldie, Kayla, are you either on campus? I'm not normally.
No, I have one class.
Okay.
On campus.
Okay.
I'm on campus Monday afternoons or evenings, and Wednesday evenings.
Okay. So they are on campus a few of those times. So if you don't want to pay it by PayPal and you need to hand a physical cash to a person, they're on campus during those times, and you can feel free to email us. Let me put this as the membership form. Kayla, I should have had you been doing all this. I was like, I can do it. I've got this. Yeah, okay, so they are due, like I said, on September 10th at our next meeting. We are holding meetings digitally, like I said, through YouTube Live, and you have to have the link to the meeting in order to be able to get into this, because it's not publicly streamed. So be sure that you are looking for our emails. If you are not seeing emails from us, usually we send out something at least once a week. If you're not seeing anything, please let me know. Okay, that's my email address. I just put it in the comments as well. Email me if you are not receiving emails, because it's possible you got missed off the list or something like that. Or check your spam folder. Sometimes we randomly get in there, and it's super exciting when that happens. Yes, membership fees, $10 due on the 10th. Our meetings are held every other Thursday at this time from 1 to 2 o'clock p.m. And you send your dues. I'm going to send out an email with the link, the PayPal link, so that we can take those dues from you digitally, or you can hand them either to Kayla or Goldie in person if you could arrange that ahead of time. Do you guys, Kayla and Goldie, do you mind putting your email address into the comments so that they can reach one of you if, okay, so that's Kayla's.
Fine with me. I don't know how to do it.
Okay, let me see if I can,
You can put mine in there if you want.
yeah, is it Guard G, what?
Yes. Yeah. Guard G at NSU. GARD G
Yeah.
at NSU.
That's Goldie's. So if you need to reach somebody in person to hand dues in, you're more than welcome to do so that way, as long as it, the times line up. Otherwise, I will send out an email with the link to PayPal to send your dues in. Yes, so our next meeting is on September 10th. And during that meeting, we will acknowledge like whoever won the election will be announced in that meeting. And then the other fun thing about that meeting is we are doing t-shirts this year. We do them every year, but I think we're pretty excited about this t-shirt design this year. And I'll send out an email because I can't show you a visual of it because technical issues. It is going to be a shirt that says Pink Floyd on it, and it is awesome. I'm super excited. And if you pay your dues, and become a member, essentially, like you pay your dues, the t-shirts are only $15. If you don't pay your dues and you just want a t-shirt, they're $20. So that also can be sent through that PayPal link that I'll send as well. So just be on the lookout for emails over the next couple of days, because I'm sure you're going to get quite a few from us. So the great thing, the reason why we went ahead this semester, if you've joined us previously, we've asked for design ideas and things like that. We came up with this design as officers with the hopes of getting t-shirts to you all much faster. Hopefully within the next, couple of weeks, we could have the shirts to you. So that was kind of our motivation, and it's a good design. I like it a lot. But so there's that. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting something. Basically, let me go back to membership. There is obviously just being a member of the psychology club has a benefit of, looking good on your resume as being involved and being, involved in community activities to, all of that. But if you're an officer, it looks even more because it shows leadership. So if you're needing, something for your graduate vita or, your vita for like graduate school, or if you are just looking to go out into the career fields, it looks really good to employers that shows you are active and that you are taking initiative and leadership by being involved as an officer, but at the very least being a member of an organization shows that you are going outside of yourself and that you're trying to be involved. So both of those things can look really, really good. Another benefit is if and when you are graduating, NSU has approved stoles for our members. So as long as you paid your dues and you've held your attendance for the semester of your graduation, then you are entitled to a stole. And they shouldn't be all that expensive, but I'll send out information on pricing on that shortly. So if you're up for graduation this semester, then we can get those ordered and here before graduation. But they're kind of cool. They have our little brain logo. If you've not seen our brain logo, it's pretty cool. It looks fun. Just there's a table at NSU in the first floor of the education building. You can go look at our logo. It's on the tablecloth. Speaking of that table, one of the initiatives that we're taking on again this semester, and we started this last semester, and then obviously we all went into lockdown and we weren't able to get on campus and get those items and things like that. So we were just going to, kind of migrate that into this semester as well, is taking donations for the homeless. We are putting together homeless bottles. So they're they're like water bottles like this, that people are donating, and we're putting items in those bottles to hand out to the homeless. So it's usually a toothbrush, toothpaste, combs, feminine care items, like bar soap. Like, I mean, there's like a big long list of those items, and you know, whatever we can fit in those bottles, we will fit in those bottles. And then we hopefully will be partnering with an organization who feeds the homeless on a regular basis. They just go out to the different areas in Tulsa, and they're also going to deliver the bottles for us. So I'm still working on the details on that, so I don't have the specifics on it, but as soon as I do, I'll let you all know how and when those will be delivered to the homeless. But our last meeting, or around that time, we will try to do an in-person activity to assemble those bottles. Obviously, everything will be completely, you know, socially distanced. Everything, you know, we're going to be as safe as we can be, but still be able to assemble, because there's quite a lot, and I'm not sure that I have it in me to fill all of those bottles with those things. And it actually offers a volunteer opportunity that you can get volunteer hours. So if you're needing it for class, or you know, you're just wanting to list that on your resume as volunteer community service, you would be able to get those hours by attending that activity to put those bottles together. That table on the first floor of the education building is where we are collecting those donation items. So if you have any items that you would like to donate, you can put them in the box on that table. There's also a list, like a paper, like flyer, that's a better word, a flyer with a list of items that are suggestions. One thing I will say is, on that flyer, it does say you can donate $5 food gift cards. If you choose to do that, it's absolutely not required by any stretch. You know, don't feel obligated. But if that is something you do feel like you would like to do, don't leave them in that table, in that box on the table. Contact one of the officers so that they can pick it up from you, or arrange to have it mailed to us or something, so that it's safe. I just don't like to leave gift cards in an open place, as you would expect. But yes, so if you've got items you want to donate, you can do it through that, like at that table, and you know, we'll go by periodically and empty the box. And then, like I said, we'll have more details on when we're going to get together to assemble those. Should be kind of fun. We can probably, like, I don't know, order food or something. I don't know. We'll come up with ideas.
On that, Laura, is there something, an item maybe we have an abundance of, or maybe an item that we're really needing still?
I will say toothpaste we have a ton of. I'm looking over. I suspect we could probably use like deodorant and maybe toothbrushes. I'm looking at the container I have over here that I've picked up. I think we've got razors and toothpaste, and we could definitely use socks. That is definitely something. I've also picked up myself some just gloves, because since we're taking this into, you know, winter, essentially, I picked up a few so that we could have some as well. So that's another thing that's not actually listed on the flyer, but socks definitely, and then gloves would be good as well. But any variety, even food items, like if they're shelf stable, like beef jerky or something like that, that we could add to that, would be great, because I'm sure we don't have a ton of the food items in general. So Jamie, yes. And I agree with you, Jamie, the stoles are awesome. I have confirmed it with the university again this semester, and we're all good to go. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it if I actually get to walk anywhere. I'm hoping we have a graduation. Okay, so that's our big community service push within our organization. Our club is the homeless donations. So this is something I've opened up to people outside of the university. Like I've, talked to family members, friends, like anybody, and just said, hey, we're doing that this semester. If you come across things that, if you're a couponer and you get like free stuff all the time, or like, those sorts of things, and they want to donate as well, just pick up those items and bring them to the table. If you are not going to be able to make it on campus, I am still working on an ability for you to mail them in or something like that. If that is your situation, you're just not going to campus, but you have items you want to donate, let me know. Even if I am not president anymore, I have all the items myself right now, so they'll inevitably be coming to me anyway. But we can arrange to figure that out. I just need to know if people are running into that issue so that I can look into it further if it's something that I need to do. So I feel like I need to cover something else. Bear with me just a second while I look at my notes. Computer's so slow. What's happening? Okay, so just to go back over dates, our election ballots are going to be due back in, and how we'll do this is in the next couple of days, I will open up a form where you can go and view who's up for election, or like who's up for each position, and then they've got a little blurb of like why they want this position, and you can read all of that. So it's kind of in lieu of presentations or speeches. And then you just need to fill out the Google form and hit submit. Pretty chill, pretty easy. But that will be due on the 6th. So it's a week from today. Is that right? That feels wrong. Hold on. Okay, it's a little more than a week. I gave through the weekend. That's what it was. So it'll be a week from Monday. T-shirt money and dues are due on the 10th, which is our next meeting, which is a Thursday. And then, okay, I covered that. So I have a couple of things that we want to do this semester. We always try to do a couple of fun activities just to give us a place where we can go, kind of get to know each other, just have fun and not have any stress around it. We usually open this up to alumni, so people who are, have moved on or transferred to other universities, they can come back and, have fun activity time with us. And one thing we want to do is next week, we want to hold a game night, and we'll just do it digitally like this, but we'll probably do it through a different link. Theoretically, I will work on that and send out an email about it. What I need to know is, 1, does that interest you? And 2, is there, like, are evenings better for you all? Certain days of the week better for you all? Certain times of the day, those sorts of things. So if you could comment and let me know on that so that I can go ahead and get that date specific thing set up. I'm leaning more toward an evening, but up to you guys. I saw your message. Thank you. So weekends, yeah. So we could do a Saturday even. It doesn't have to be during the week. It's just kind of up to you all. It'll just be next week sometime. Sounds fun. Any evenings, nights are good for me. Perfect. Erica. So I'll let you guys comment in there and we'll come back to that in a minute. Ooh, Jamie says, yes, some friends and I did a scavenger hunt over Zoom one time, and that was fun. That sounds super interesting. You may have to fill me in on how you did that. I'm like, were you all out individually? Like, yeah, I don't know. Sounds fun. Sarah, you asked that would work better. Which would work better? Weekends, like a Saturday? Or if it's weekends, it would need to be in the afternoon, not evening, Jamie? Okay, so I'll let you guys respond to what I said there. The second event that we want to do, and normally we would do one at the beginning of the semester and one at the end of the semester. If you've paid attention to NSU's emails, they've kind of, weekends, Sarah, thank you so much. Yes, we'll probably wind up doing a weekend. It seems like that's pretty good feedback. But NSU has basically stated that, you know, they'll follow the CDC guidelines as far as like, should we go back to school after Thanksgiving. And so because that's still kind of a questionable time, we are moving a lot of our event stuff up to around like midterm time, which is normally during fall break, which we don't have this semester. So it'll be the week of October 19th. So it's the week following midterms. I'm hoping that's like a release of stress after midterms are over. But we plan on doing a geocaching outing, which Jamie kind of was like, reminded me of the scavenger hunt thing you were talking about. But this will be something we'll do in person and totally socially distanced. So I don't want anybody to feel weird about it or anything. And obviously, if anything changes and it becomes unsafe for us to do something like that, and they want us all to stay home instead of even like driving somewhere, then we will obviously cancel. But we will be paying attention and be making any changes we need to as we go. So that's something to keep in mind. And as we get a little bit closer, I'll have more details as far as date and time and all the details of geocaching and all that stuff. Jamie says just around the house, they would say an item and whoever could get it and get back first would get the points. That sounds so fun. I'm such a nerd. I love it. Yes, not evenings. I work overnights on the weekends. Ooh, girl. I mean, that's fine with me too. We could totally do that. Sounds like Saturdays are sounding pretty safe. Does Saturday afternoons work for you all? Like, it wouldn't be, obviously wouldn't be this Saturday, it'd be the following Saturday in the afternoon. Erica asks, what was the t-shirt fee? And you said PayPal, correct? Yes, PayPal. And the t-shirt fee, if, sorry, choking. If you pay for your membership of $10, your t-shirts are $15. So it would be like basically those two together. If you aren't paying for your membership and you just want a t-shirt, they're $20. And then a couple of things that we've got kind of tentative for this semester, since we're trying to do so much online as we can, as much online as we can. Obviously, we would love any ideas you all have for community service type activities we could do virtually. So this could literally be, we've had the idea of everybody recording a video of themselves just sharing and encouraging moment for a senior citizen. And then we would be able to deliver those digitally to a nursing home and have them stream them, as encouragement. That's obviously a community service opportunity, and you would be able to get volunteer hours and things like that for that time. And so any ideas you have for that kind of thing we could do, anything we could do digitally or virtually, where we could hopefully help serve the community in some fashion. I'd love feedback for that. And I know hopefully our soon-to-be chair, volunteer chair, would probably absolutely love to hear that. This semester is going to be especially exciting because we can't do as much in person. The other opportunity we have is to create study groups, and that's honestly a really exciting thing for me. I don't want the psychology club to be someplace you go and you hear speakers. I just don't. I think speakers can be amazing, and I think there is definitely a place for them in the psychology club, but I don't want this to be a lecture. I want us to be a community. My goal, why I became president, was to try to make the psychology club a resource for all students interested in psychology, whether they were psychology majors, minors, if they were, I assume they have a minor in psychology. I don't know. Whether they just had an interest in psychology. Sorry, I'm distracted with comments. I need to stop. Yeah, basically being a resource. So feeding the mind as far as information, but doing quiz bowl stuff, or forming study groups, or if you need to study for the GRE, if you're going to another university and not going into the counseling program at NSU, we can put those sorts of things together. So if you're interested in a study group, I've done this with other members in the past where they needed some assistance. They just weren't getting, something that a teacher, had just covered, and just needed a little bit of extra support of somebody just to be there to either reiterate something, re-explain something, or confirm that they knew what they were doing. We want to be that outlet and give you a place to go, to come together to do that. And we can do that digitally. We can do through like meetings, through like Google Meets, or we've also had the opportunity of setting up a Discord, which I'm not sure who's familiar with Discords, but it's basically a giant chat room sort of situation, where you can do voice chats, or you can just do like texting chats. So we have that. I haven't set it up yet, just kind of wanted to get some feedback to see if you all would be interested in that, if you use Discord or not. But I know that would be an excellent place to hold study groups. Let me cover what I just missed here. Janie asked, can we do in-person volunteering at all as a group, or is it against NSU guidelines? It is not against NSU guidelines. However, we have to abide by certain restrictions. So I would have to get like specific clarification. I know obviously masks are required. We need to have hand sanitizer available and utilize it. And then there obviously needs to be the social distancing aspect to that as well. And I'm sure they are abiding, well, maybe not, because class sizes are bigger. I feel like, isn't there like a group, like an assembly limitation on how many people can be in a group? I'll have to check on those details. It is possible. It is possible. We just have a lot more legwork if we do things in person. And a lot of people aren't comfortable at this point doing that in person. And so my goal this semester with keeping things online was literally just to ease some of that and not stress where we didn't need to. But we can definitely do things in person if we would like to, as long as we're abiding by those few things. Jackie, the nursing home for my hometown used to let the high school students be pen pals to the elderly. I mean, that's a phenomenal idea. I know we actually have a past officer, psychology club officer, who she works in a nursing home, like we're with memory patients, so Alzheimer's patients, and they try to do those kinds of things with them all the time, having them writing letters and thank you notes, and like they get cards from children and that sort of thing. So we have an excellent outlet to do that here as well. But anywhere, I'm open to like anywhere. And that's the really good thing about being virtual. We're not limited specifically to Broken Arrow. I will say NSU does have a preference that we try to do as much as we can in the Broken Arrow community. And so, we've got some connections. We can reach out to people in Broken Arrow, but if, when we're volunteering, if it's possible to do some things in Broken Arrow, I know NSU would look favorably on that. Erica says GRE study group is a great idea. If you are interested in that, I do have a point of contact of a graduate student who she focuses on the quantitative side of the GRE in helping study groups. So we could definitely arrange a time where she comes in and assists us in that process as well. So I will send out a 47th email, an email with a GRE interest group form in it, and just fill that out and let me know you're interested. And if we can get some people together to create a group, we'll do it that way. Jamie, I know there are some organizations in Tulsa doing things like handing out food boxes to people and they're following distancing guidelines, masks. Absolutely. If they're needing assistance, yes, for sure. I know the food bank that Kayla and I had volunteered at are taking volunteers as well, and abiding as that way as well. So Erica says, I volunteered at the Child Abuse Center in Tulsa, not since the pandemic, and they always need stuffed animals and care packages for kids to take home. That's awesome. That's a really good idea. I mean, I love that idea. Anything that we can do in any fashion, whether it is taking donations of stuffed animals or whatever, to be able to utilize that, and serve the community, I'm all for it. So those are great ideas. You guys have got some amazing ones. Jamie, so Sane would happily take stuffed animals for child exams too. Cool. Awesome. Maybe I will put a form out as well. I love forms. You'll get very comfortable with them this semester. I will put out a form, and if you've got any ideas, just fill out the form for each one of those ideas, and that will help our volunteer chair so much. Thank you, Jamie. I was like, SANE. Not sure what SANE is. Sexual abuse nurse examiners. I figured that it was in that area. I wasn't 100% sure what the acronym, stood for. So the last thing that I wanted to cover is we have an opportunity, and we did this last semester. So if you've kind of been paying attention to emails, or if you were with us last semester, you know about this, but we held support groups for students, specifically Broken Arrow students, and staff and faculty. It's a support group for NSU Broken Arrow. I kind of wanted to know if that's something you guys are interested in continuing this semester, or if you feel like it's not something you'd be able to do or would be interested in. It's basically, we've just kind of all met in basically a chat area, like a video chat, and kind of just did a weekly, like a check-in. It wasn't even every week. I think we met every other week or something like that. And it was just an opportunity for us to do a check-in, see how we're doing, are we struggling with anything, and then just, it's like group therapy. That's essentially what it winds up being, which is kind of appropriate for psychology students to be hosting that kind of thing, but it goes beyond the psychology club. So if if you're interested in doing the support groups, I'd love to know. I know we've had some that, a couple of people have reached out about it, but kind of want to just open it up and see what your thoughts were. If that was something, we set this up initially, obviously because we all went into lockdown and there was a lot of emotional turmoil that came with this pandemic. And we wanted to make sure there was something for NSU Broken Arrow students as an outlet to serve them. And as things are kind of becoming, unfortunately, more of a norm, I needed to hear from you all whether you felt like that was something that was still a benefit, and if you felt like you would participate. Don't feel like you have to answer if you would participate or not, because, that's one thing that we're really strong about. Like, we don't talk about who's there, what they've said, anything while we're in a support group meeting. So, if you don't feel comfortable answering it here, just scroll up in the comments until you find my email and just email me and let me know if you think it would be of benefit, and we can get those started again this semester. That's a lot of information, but I know we've gone about 45 minutes. It's a little over it's about to the 2 o'clock mark, but I wanted to open this up since we got a little bit late to start. So if you need to pop off, I totally understand. But I'd love to hear from you all to find out why you joined the psychology club and what you were looking for from the psychology club. What was your goal for being at this meeting, for being involved? Do you guys have any feedback on, and if you are a member already and you're already active, tell us why you joined, why you got involved. I kind of told you a little bit about mine. I don't know if Kayla or Goldie want to kind of share what their motivations were for joining the psychology club. But I'd love to hear from all of you all as well. I don't know.
I'll share a little bit. This is Kayla. So like I said, I met Laura at Tulsa Food Bank. So for me, I'm a psychology major, so it kind of made sense. I was always interested in psychology, and I wanted to get in an organization or a group that we all shared the same interests and could talk about things like mental health. But I have always had a heart for the homeless, so I was really excited to see ways that I could give back and volunteer, and I find volunteering fulfilling and fun. So that was the main thing. And then becoming a senior and learning what all goes into graduating, especially if you want to go on to grad school, it looks good. And I also felt like it was just fulfilling in my personal life. So it's good to be part of it. It's nice to put on your resume. It's a really great way to network and meet people, and meet people who are like-minded. So that's the main thing I like about it.
Thank you, Kayla. Appreciate that. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts, but we'll go ahead and wrap this meeting up. Does anybody have any questions that I maybe didn't cover, or, you need me to repeat or anything like that I could answer for you all? No? Okay. If you think of any, feel free to email me. I will be emailing out definitely our ballots tonight. And then, over the next couple of days, you'll be getting a few emails from us. So, yes, Sarah, we do have a set meeting time. They will be every other Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. So our next meeting will be the 10th of September. And then it's just every 2 weeks. at the same time. So, Erica, I'm joining because I'm a psychology major and love psychology. I love volunteering, but I also think that this is a good opportunity to network and be involved on campus. Absolutely. I think, honestly, we don't give student organizations enough credit. If you think about, fraternities and sororities, you think, oh, well, those people, you may run into somebody who's a part of your fraternity, and like they may give you a job because of that. Student organizations are kind of the same way. You never know, and especially in the Midwest and in Tulsa specifically, you never know if you're going to have an opportunity to work with somebody or be able to recommend somebody to someone that because of a student organization. So I agree completely with the networking. And honestly, we have a lot of wonderful faculty that help with that as well. So if you're needing advice for graduate schools or how to approach research or anything like that, or just need to figure out like what organizations do I need to be involved in, or not just at NSU but like nationally, I've been introduced to many a faculty that do not go to NSU or that are not part of NSU through my connections with NSU. So I agree completely. The networking is amazing. Di says, help with grad school and getting knowledge from people who have already been there and are on their way there. Group activities, community events, just getting to know fellow students. I agree. One of my sort of frustrations with the Broken Arrow campus is because we are largely non-traditional students, we oftentimes go into the education building, go to our class, and then leave the education building and get in our cars and we leave. There a lot of other universities, there are mingling places. There are places you can go and do study stuff and things like that. And we have little small alcoves. But our general population of students at our campus, we're just not those kind of people. And so we miss that community element, that glue that holds our campus together, but also people who are, interested in the same things that we are. And so, just having a place that, I can go to this place and talk nerdy to somebody about something I'm passionate about, like, you just know where to go. And I think that's amazing. Like, I completely agree with you. And like Goldie said, she's in the master's program right now at NSU, and I am going through the process of applying for graduate school at other universities. So you do have a lot of contacts with a lot of people who are in various stages. And they're on the other end of it is like, as we have new students coming in, being those mentors for them. So Jamie, yeah. Di says, yes, it's so hard to go from KU, and was really involved and had a large number of students to a smaller community. I agree completely. I went to UCO in Edmond my first time around in college and lived on campus. I was a traditional student. I mean, like a standard student. And it was quite a shock. Even like if you look at TCC, they have younger students. So, they're more susceptible to that social connection. But they have more of that community built already, even just as a community college. So we're just a completely different beast here. And so I would love for us to have build that community and help raise each other up just through those connections. So, yeah, I don't know why I didn't know you went to KU. I grew up in Kansas City, so KU is definitely on my radar. Jamie says, it's the same having been at OSU once upon a time. There are always something happening in lots of places and people just sitting around talking. I agree completely. And I've been working with the student government on our campus about, and they're very much thinking about that, is like, can we create something that would bring students together like those other those other universities have, you know, to have mingling spots, to always have activities. And Jasmine is the student engagement person for our campus, and she's done an amazing job at like making sure there are opportunities for students to be involved in like just fun activities. Like we had a ice cream social last week. And so I would encourage you, especially as just students at the Broken Arrow campus, but also being involved in the psychology club. I would love to see more of our faces involved with other student organizations activities or through student engagement, just being active on campus. And they're not everything is in person on campus right now. They're doing some virtual things as well. So be looking out for those, because it does, it does bring more people to recognize that the psychology club exists, but also it's helping with that community and yeah. So I guess I didn't mention it. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm not sure how we didn't have that conversation. But yeah, anyway, I could go on a tangent about that. But anyway, so again, I'll reiterate that if you scroll up, you'll see the 2 forms listed. The first one is if you are interested in holding an officer position. And then the second one is how to apply for membership, or if you're interested at all in being in on our email list so you get notifications of our activities. And then, like I said, our next meeting will be on September 10th from 1 to 2 p.m. Let me just confirm, because yep, that's right. And we will be sending out a link to another another YouTube live link like this, and it will be obviously different links. So just look for those emails as we get a little bit closer. Once I've set up the event and everything, I'll have a link and have that sent out to you all as well. And I appreciate you guys so much for being here and letting me go over a couple of minutes. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your semester, and I hope I see you guys at our next meeting, and feel free to reach out at any point, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much.